Hello world. Today we are talking about Pink Anderson and Floyd Council. Two black guys.
Hey, you. But you wish you were here. Stand still, Letty.
Do you know who I just mentioned?
Yes. And when I read that, so it's two albums. They saw two albums. Those two guys.
Two
and
blues artists.
They put their two first names together. I recall. Didn't we have another band that did the same thing?
I'd have to go through them.
Yeah, I know. I recall that happening with somebody else too. And unless I read this before, and I'm just remembering.
Yeah. Now, this band, Pink Floyd, as popular as they are, did not make our top 100.
Right.
Thanks to a movie
called The Wall, and I read like Roger Ebert and Siskel and Ebert liked it.
They liked it,
but and I read some other person saying it's just relentlessly depressing. Even though
it is.
They say they thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I remember watching Siskel and Ebert, and they showed the scene where all the kids are falling into the meat grinder
and comes out.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
And I maybe
that traumatized us as children.
It probably did, especially because they were also wearing those pig masks or whatever they were. Yeah. So because of a movie, it impacted us on our feelings of that band. Now, luckily, I've slightly changed on them. I'm still not. They're not in our top 100, but David Gilmour, I do like.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he played on Give Blood with Pete Townsend, and my opinion changed. And so when A Momentary Lapse of Reason came out,
yes,
music is way different.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty much his, they said it's pretty much his third solo album. But
Roger Waters was not on that, right?
Right.
So, yeah, that was gone. What I can't understand why Syd Barrett is such credit for this band when he only really appeared on the first two albums.
Because he was part of the forming band, and he was the one that pretty much wrote the lyrics, right? Up till when he left.
Two albums.
But I was reading his story, and I'm like, is this where he got The Wall? But a lot of people say that Roger Waters' past had to do with The Wall story too.
Yeah.
So probably just a combo.
It seems like it, right? When you watch the movie, that's Syd Barrett's story.
Yes.
How else? But obviously, Dark Side of the Moon is Syd Barrett's story. Especially the last song, which mentions Dark Side of the Moon. That's where the lyrics are in there.
Right. Brain damage. Yeah. Which is the first time Roger Waters sings on that album. It's all David Gilmour up to then.
Does he do the laughter?
I don't know. The laughter, the psychotic scream.
But Syd Barrett, that is it is a stigma attached to the band. Some guy goes nuts. Has that happened in another band?
I'm sure it has.
But that's the one that's most pronounced. You have a guy who's going out on Ed Sullivan and just standing there, not doing anything. Did lip sync to the song.
Did you watch videos that happened?
No.
Okay.
but I actually tried watching them live on one of the concerts before Dark Side of the Moon. They are a hard watch.
I'll tell you what I didn't like. What are you talking about before their famous song?
Before I think it was a concert for Umaguma.
Okay.
And I was watching it. I couldn't watch it.
I called it Umaguma.
Oh.
Is it Umaguma?
It competes with Squeeze has an album called Argy Bargy. Okay. Now Syd Barrett did die. 2006.
There was another guy who died too.
Not Nick Mason.
No, the drummer, Wright.
Wright. What's Richard Wright?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but again, now Syd Barrett's in two albums. His first 7 albums aren't great. It's not until album 8, Dark Side of the Moon, that they really have anything worth listening to. And supposedly, who was the first person to do this? Line it up with The Wizard of Oz.
Right. Well, the Peoples. Yeah, who was the one that played it? So, hey, this lights up. I'm like, how do you know?
And you know what's funny? Go on YouTube and type in Dark Side of the Wizard.
Okay, they play the whole thing?
Somebody, and you can still hear the people talking for Wizard of Oz, but the entire album is played over top of
Right.
it. And so I don't know if it matched or not, but those are not the type of songs that you play, you know. It's not an upbeat album. Let me just tell you that.
Was it? No. Wizard of Oz stuff was coming up on my TikTok feed lately, and I have a feeling it's because doesn't it come around like once a year? There's a certain time it comes around because that was when it was first released.
Right.
It was probably November.
No, I
And
tried.
so-
I tried starting to watch it. I only got a
Yeah.
few songs in.
No, but I'm just saying the Wizard of Oz in general. And the biggest thing that everybody keeps saying is, Glinda is the
Yes,
the wicked.
she's now the yes.
Yeah.
There was something recently said. These are the real villains of the story.
Yeah,
It was
the real
top
villains,
10.
and they're showing how. And I've seen like Mad TV had a parody where like all you have to do is this. It's like say what? Could you tell me that like
Right
away when I.
Okay. Now I haven't watched the whole thing, so I'm kind of curious what part of Dark Side of the Moon is playing when supposedly that person is swinging in the background that got hung.
Okay.
A
Oh,
rumor.
right. Well,
a rumor
they-
somebody died on set.
But they said that's not true. They said that
I
was a
know.
myth because they said it's an,
Yes.
you look at the scene, it's an actual,
Supposedly.
there's an animal back there, and
Yeah.
they thought it was something.
And also, which part of the movie is playing when there is laughter? I
Okay.
want to know. So, other than that, I don't care to watch that. So there's 2 movies ruined by Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is I didn't care for AC/DC, but because they did the soundtrack for Maximum Overdrive,
Okay.
I liked their music, and that movie supposedly is not good.
Yeah. Okay. Now, did you listen? I don't know where you rank this, but I remember in the '90s. I remember Roger Waters putting out his hit single "What God Wants." You listened to
No,
it?
I listened to it.
I
don't
remembered
remember
it though. I just
Yeah, no, I don't remember it. Of course, Rolling Stones. Who was the guitarist?
Keith Richards. Oh,
he put out a solo.
He
I don't remember that one either.
Wicked as it seems. I remember that too. I listened to that when I was going.
But
to
I told
college.
you during the '90s I had changed
Yeah.
to listening to country
All right.
and contemporary Christian. So there's a whole decade I didn't listen to anything.
David Gilmour. I liked his song. It just shows his guitar.
Yeah,
talents.
Blue Light is pretty good.
But I don't remember it being on the radio.
Let me just tell you, I think I would probably buy his solo album before a Pink Floyd album. Now, if you did buy a Pink Floyd album, which would it be?
Dark Side of the Moon.
'cause they do-
Before the Wall, I'd probably do Dark Side
Yeah,
of the
they
Moon.
do have some really iconic stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
They both
even Wish
have
You
about,
Were Here.
They both have about the same amount of hits
Yeah.
that I like, but the Wall has a lot more unnecessary
does.
songs that I don't like.
Yes, it does, because it was. I mean,
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry.
minute-long transition
I do
songs.
like momentary lapse.
I do.
Lapse of reason.
I listened to that whole album and I liked most of the songs. What else? Listening to the first, I'll give you this. Okay, listen to the first 7 songs of albums of Pink Floyd. I think I would rather listen to the Genesis before.
Yeah, with Peter Gabriel. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
No, they were actually called Pink Floyd Sound, and somebody told
Yeah.
them to drop sound. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so I guess Roger Waters pretty much did all the lyrics until he left. And, all right, so this is from, which one is it? Have a Cigar. I always thought that song was called Riding the Gravy Train.
Oh,
Because he says that.
Yeah, I know
call
he
it
says
Riding
that.
the Gravy Train. I always thought that was the title of the song, but it's just come on in here, boy, have a cigar. That's the title of the song right there. It says it at the beginning. But after he says that, I'm like, it sounds like Stuart Smalley from SNL when he says, "Look in the mirror," and he's you're trying to think positive things about yourself. He's like, "You're gonna go far. You're gonna fly high. You're never gonna die. You're gonna make it if you try. They're gonna love you. Sounds like something Stuart Smalley would say in a motivational speech to yourself.
You know what's interesting about that song is
What?
that it's not Pink Floyd singing.
Yeah.
It's some other
Oh,
guy.
and you guys are probably wondering also, which was Pink?
I'd like to know which
He
one's
says that
Pink.
in the lyric, like none of them were called Pink.
That sounds like an ad lib, right? It wasn't part of the song, and then he
Yeah.
just threw it in there.
Right.
Looking at the rest of the band, which one's Pink? Oh, did you know that David Gilmour did appear in a movie?
Well, they did. Pink Floyd did soundtracks to movies too.
Yeah.
Before they got famous.
Yes, but he was actually in a movie.
Okay.
Give my regards to Broad Street.
Okay, I could see that.
Paul
'Cause
McCartney.
They probably had a lot of musicians in that one.
Yes, nothing like the Beatles, but he was English, right? They're
Yeah.
an English band,
Yeah.
just like the Beatles. Don't know if they're part of the British invasion. I mean, they were later. I mean, they literally started in 1967, but again, not famous until late 70s.
Right.
You think Quiet Riot was singing about them?
When they were saying what?
Mental health.
Oh, no.
The guy, with the straight jacket.
Yeah, we'll probably never do Quiet Riot because, as far as we know, they only had 2 hits.
Well, I was just recently thinking about all the bands that are specifically only known for 2 songs.
yeah, it's amazing.
There's a lot.
And it's amazing that you only get 2 hits, and yet you say their name. I know that band. No, you don't. Not really.
I think the lead singer died alright, Kevin
Okay.
DeBrow.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Personal story. Do you remember the one time you, me, and Dennis were in a car and another Brick in the Wall came on?
Okay.
And you looked at us and said, matter of factly, this is the most famous guitar solo ever.
I don't recall saying that.
I do, and I said
no.
yes.
I don't recall saying it with him in the car. I remember saying it to you.
I'm pretty sure Dennis was in the car.
Yeah.
And I remember debating you. and I mean, it's up
okay,
there.
there are a lot of famous.
Yes.
Guitar
I remember
solos.
debating you. I will give you this. For a random person, if you listen to it long enough, it's the easiest to mimic
Okay.
with your mouth because
Right.
it's a little slower.
Yeah.
Right? And you could do all the parts.
Yeah, I'd rank that up there with Hotel California.
Hotel California,
the solo at
Sultans
the
of
end.
Swing.
Wow.
There are others. I mean, but if you were to put the guitarist, I'm not sure I'd rank the guitarist up there because there's a lot of good guitarists. Again, Eddie Van Halen would be at the top. What would you say is Eddie Van
I
Halen's most
watched the
famous?
list and somebody put Jimi Hendrix at the top. They put Eddie Van
Yeah.
Halen like 7.
I know. Where would you list Eddie Van Halen? What song would you say is his most famous guitar solo? Is it Jump
Eddie Van Halen? Yeah, probably is Jump.
or is it Beat It?
You couldn't tell me
No,
how beat it goes. No.
I know. Beat It, you'll never be able to mimic that. Because it doesn't even sound like it goes with the song, right? It's got no rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
All right. One last thing. A song that won't make our list. There is a song on the wall. Reminds me similar. It's long, just like Kashmir. And it's slow, just like Kashmir. But even though I try to sing the words to it because I like the words, but the song itself, I'm like, I can't stand. Comfortably numb.
Oh yeah, I know the words to that one.
Yeah, yeah.
When it comes on the radio, I'll sing to it because I know all the words.
I think that's the first song that I liked of theirs, and it got ruined because of the movie.
The only song I've heard of, well, there's a couple songs that I hear from them that I don't know words for. It's "Run Like Hell" and "Young Lust." I couldn't tell you any of those lyrics.
Yeah.
"Wish You Were Here." I know that's pretty good. "Have a Cigar."
I'm surprised "Welcome to the Machine" ever gets played on the radio.
Right. That wasn't released as a single.
No, but it's on the radio, and it's not like one of the you can tap your feet to or hey, good beat. No. I think they got a few songs like that. Us and Them. That gets played on the radio again.
Yeah, and
It's so slow.
what's funny about that is you wouldn't think it'd be like a hard rocking band because you can hear like there's a saxophone playing. I think they hear a piano. Do, 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 do. Yeah, so
What genre do you put Pink Floyd in? It's hard. It's the reason they're not my favorite.
Yeah, and sometimes when you look at the lyrics of the songs on Dark Side of the Moon, I'm like, how does that go again? Breathe, time,
Yeah.
brain damage, and what's the other one? Breathe the time. Well, the only thing I realized
Money's on it.
Okay, money's on it, but time I always have to remember. Well, that starts with the drums.
Yes.
Do, do, do,
Well,
do,
I mean, it does because
ding.
it actually starts with the clocks.
Yeah.
And then goes into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
drums.
Yeah, but that is a long time
Before it gets to the start.
Before it gets to them singing.
Money too. I have to appreciate that they bring in literal items from the outside world.
Oh, like
and try to make them
the
music.
cash register,
The cash
and the
register.
change dropping,
Yeah.
and the door closing.
So,
Yeah,
I'll give them that. They were innovative and creative, but still not listenable.
Now, what came first? That's those sounds with the cash register, or the saying cha-ching, or did one cause the other?
Yeah.
Because that's how right? That's how, when you think of cha-ching, aren't you thinking of the cash register sound?
You are. Yep.
So,
Yes. And yeah, you got that. There's a lot of songs about money too.
yeah.
You got the other band. It's not called. It's for love of money.
Right. Money, 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 money.
Yeah. That Donald Trump used for the Apprentice.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. Dark Side of the Moon, by the way.
Oh, and correction for one thing.
Okay.
Pink Floyd, the Money song, I believe at the end it says, the world says money is the root of all evil.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
The problem with people saying that all the time is they are incorrect. That's not the saying. The saying is from the Bible. It is the love of money is the root of all evil.
Don't love money.
Everybody always says money is the root of all
Yes.
evil. That's not true.
And what else? Oh, you know what's interesting with all these iconic albums? Somehow Animals is in the midst of them.
Yeah.
No songs
In between Dark Side of the
No,
Moon
Wish You Were Here
and well, I know, but it's in between Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall. It's in between those two albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they had Wish You Were Here too, but great album from them. It's
And
Animals, and there is one album that has where it has the cow on the front.
yeah, Adam Heartmother
Yeah.
or
So
Adam Mother Heart. I
you would
forget
think
which order.
that would be the cover for Animals.
No,
'Cause
Animals.
Animals is just a
I
dilapidated
know,
building that's like.
but
maybe-
it did get famous because it has the flying pig,
Yeah.
and they use that in their concerts. And I remember a comedian talking about, people are so stoned in the audience, and then suddenly a flying pig comes on. Flying pig.
Well, yeah, they had a whole bunch of like air blown puppets from The Wall. They had the schoolmaster,
Yes.
the mother, and when we went to see Rush and Preston, they had their
Those stupid
rabbits
bunnies
coming out of the hats.
for Presto. Yeah, don't use balloons in your concert. It doesn't help. By the way, throw this in. Our next artist will
Sang with Pink
somehow,
Sang with Pink
somehow, doesn't seem like it's related, but she actually sang with Roger Waters in Berlin in 1990. She helped sing The Wall,
Yeah.
or Another Brick in the Wall.
That is unusual.
She's so unusual. So Cyndi Lauper will be our next video.
Because of that specifically.
Yes. Wasn't going to, but I changed it because I didn't realize she sang with him. And I don't think that was all of Pink Floyd. Somebody else did the guitar solo, not David Gilmour. And I don't know, was 1990 when The Wall came down?
Well, that's okay.
Or
the
after
wall,
the
the
wall.
wall for Pink Floyd wasn't having to do with Berlin.
I know that.
Oh, okay. Because
But
they
I
went
think
there.
that's why they specifically did play that
Yeah,
in
yeah, okay.
Berlin.
Maybe
Because
then.
that wall came down.
Yeah, maybe.
So, all right. Let's go ahead and get to our top 10. Do we have a top 10 for Pink Floyd?
Yeah, we have a top 10.
We did. Doesn't mean we have to like him, but here's our top 10. Okay, we have 2 honorable mentions. None for you.
Of course.
Somehow I'm always getting the honorable mentions. Okay, my first one is from Dark Side of the Moon, Time. Because I do like those drums and the different clocks in the beginning. And I understand it's not as notable as Money, but I do like all the extras on it. And the other one is Keep Talking, which came from what? The Division Bell, their final
Yes.
album?
Yeah.
Well, not their final.
Yeah,
final.
that one. There's 2 songs on there. Keep Talking and
Take It Back.
Take It Back, and they're really long. They're like 6
They
minutes
are
each,
long.
I think.
I think I wrote it down.
And I can't believe they're on the radio.
I think I wrote it down. I didn't write it down here, but a good out of all their singles, I think over 10 of them are 6 minutes or longer. So they liked Rush did that, but they didn't release those, right? Jacob's Ladder and Xanadu. Yeah, those weren't hit singles. Okay, so those were my dude. Keep Talking with the women in the background. So I like those. Number 10, we already mentioned, comes from Wish You Were Here. It's the only song on our top 10 from that album. So Have a Cigar. I have this at 12, so it would not have made it with me. And you had it at 9, so barely made it. By the way, so would you say they're a 70s band mainly?
Yeah, they're like the because Dark Side of the Moon was 73.
You wouldn't know it from our list. We have 4 70s songs,
And the rest are in the
4 80s songs.
Well, I mean, The Wall was right on 1980.
Yeah.
Momentary Lapse of Reason was up there in 83, 84, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so we have 4 80s.
Division
4
Bell was
70s.
probably around 90.
We have 2 90s songs. But Have a Cigar would be our number 10 from Wish You Were Here. And again, do you remember who the singer was?
For that one?
Yes. Not Pink Floyd singer. They brought somebody
Ty?
in.
No, I don't remember.
I can't remember the guy's name.
Ty, I thought it was Ty.
There you go. Look it up. It's number 9, coming from Dark Side of the Moon, which you would think is a space reference. Like I did watch a movie called Far Side of the Sun,
Right.
and suppose you look at the sun, and supposedly on the other side, there's a duplicate universe over there.
Oh, okay.
Everything, but they're reverse of us. Like,
Okay, yeah.
So if you're right-handed here, you're left-handed up there.
what was that called? When Worlds Collide or something like that?
No, it's called Far Side of the Sun.
Okay.
Anyways, Dark Side of the Moon. Apparently, it's the side you can't see.
Well, Transformers, remember one of their movies was called Dark of the Moon.
Oh yes. So Dark Side of the Sun. It was actually in reference to Sid Barrett's mental health.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So apparently, when you become crazy, you're on the dark side of the moon. But this song, I didn't say the song title. Number 9 is Money. And my 9, your 10. So the ka-ching is here. But again, better than Time. Why? Because when the music starts coming in, it's got the very recognizable. Is that a guitar or a bass? Do 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 do.
It could be a bass, but I don't know.
So
I don't think used.
that if that was bass, that would make you want to learn bass.
So okay, one of the lines is keep your hands off my stash. Which we are next week is hey, when this video comes out, it'll be after Christmas, but we're recording it just before Christmas. It's Scrooge. Keep your hands off of my stash. It's like, no, he likes to guard his gold coins.
You know what? Another Cyndi Lauper reference. She's got a song on her first album. Money changes everything.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. You got that. Number 8, coming from Amused to Death. And you're like, I don't think that's a Pink
Yeah,
Floyd
it's not
album.
Pink Floyd.
Not Pink Floyd. It is Roger Waters. It's the song you liked from the 90s. My number 13.
Okay.
Your number 5, it's What God Wants. Part 1 or part 2? It's got a part.
Yeah,
on
I
it,
know. I don't remember which part it is.
Yes.
Probably part 1.
Which they've done that before. I mean, Another Brick in the Wall, the famous one.
It's 3 parts.
But the famous one's part 2.
Yeah.
But I have heard that in multiple parts.
I
always
like
play that.
for the guitar. I like part 1 better.
Yes.
I don't know if it has lyrics in part 1. I think it's just guitar and intros to stuff. I think they might have talking, of course. They always have the teacher talking.
Right. So, but anyways, number 8 is What God Wants.
Yes.
Now, you remember the lyrics apparently. What
Well,
is it?
it's all conflicting too.
Yeah,
He's like,
he wants this and this, but they both go against each other. So does
God wants peace. God wants war. God wants chain stores for some reason. Yeah, it's all.
so I guess he was just trying to be witty with his lyrics.
Yeah, and I just like the guitar is great and drums. Like when it comes in,
Yeah, it is. But I thought I found his singing bland. Lyrics
Yeah,
good.
but he sings a lot of Pink Floyd songs.
He does. But I just don't like
You
his
can tell when a
lackadaisical-
Pink Floyd song comes on, you can tell if it's David Gilmour because David Gilmour you recognize.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't sound like David Gilmour, I know it's Robert Waters.
Okay. Number 7, back to Pink Floyd from the Division Bell. Since we had to keep talking in my honorable, this is
Right.
the one that made it, and that is Take It Back. Both of us have this at 7, and this would be a song I'd put on the car. Because it's like peaceful. And again, David Gilmour, he has a nice voice, at least back then. I don't know what he sounds like.
I like that the two songs don't sound like each other either.
Yes.
I wanna take it back, right? And the other one's
Right.
like, why don't you talk to me?
Yeah, but this one is the more musically pleasant to listen to, so I agree. It's in our top 10. All right, and this would be the most recent of all the songs, 1994. Number 6, coming from David Gilmour in his solo effort, About Face, which military term, right? About Face, and you turn around. And this would be Blue Light.
Yeah.
My 5, your 8.
Now there's a video for it.
Is there? You know what? I
You didn't
think
watch
so.
the
I
video? Oh my
didn't.
gosh.
What's it about?
They show him play the intro with the guitar.
Is it good guitar?
Yeah,
parts?
and the blue light is actually the woman is the blue light. I think he says.
Okay.
But they have these cringe dancers that do these
Okay.
moves.
I'll have to watch it.
And it doesn't really go with the song. But,
Okay.
it's an it's like a time capsule thing. You're like, okay.
But you know, the guitar part reminded me
Yeah.
of like what he did on Give Blood.
Right.
You know, before Pete Townsend started singing. Yeah. So I think I would buy his album before a Pink Floyd album. All right. Number 5, coming from that Pink Floyd album, I would get Momentary Lapse of Reason, which he does say that phrase.
One slip.
One slip, I believe. Yes.
A momentary lapse of reason. Yeah, I like it.
But this is not that song. This is Learning to Fly. Was this the first song they put out on this?
I think so.
It's honestly the other than Another Brick in the Wall, it's the only video I remember of theirs, where you got the Indian guy.
And the ego turns into an ego or something.
So that's okay. Can you copyright that? Because if you could, yes, can sue Pink Floyd, right? Because the guy in what's that song? What's our top for
Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Owner of a Lonely Heart?
Yes.
He jumped. They had him
Yeah,
surrounded. He
yeah.
jumped off the building. He turned into a bird.
Yeah.
They did it first.
I got a joke.
My 4, your
Where
6.
there's this joke where three guys are talking, saying, if you jump off this cliff, say a bird, you'll turn into that bird. Which that
Is that where you?
yeah.
It's when you say something.
Yeah, well,
First thing
yeah,
you say, you turn into it.
Oh, okay.
And somebody-
I said it wrong then because
Yes.
I say you turn into a bird.
Somebody
They
trip.
They
and
say,
they say,
oh crap,
and that's what
and
they
then
turn
the
into.
punchline is splat. Yes.
I remember that joke. Now, Learning to Fly, 1987. 3 years later, Tom Petty,
Yeah.
put out Learning to Fly.
It's an interesting guitar part. Because he goes, I think he's doing a slide there.
Probably.
So-
Yeah, that is. I think that's why I like that song, because again, it's when you do guitar solo, it doesn't have to be just something memorable. You know, and that is very memorable. I know we're at number 4. This is probably going to reveal what our number 1 is, but 4, 3, and 2 all come from The Wall. So basically, first, there's a lot of Wall songs out there. What order are we putting them in? They'll probably reveal what number 1 is. But number 4, Young Lust. My 6, your 3.
Yes.
And if you remember the movie, this is where he's destroying his hotel room
Right.
with the groupie
Right.
trying to
Well,
dodge all the items.
he makes the phone call, which is supposedly the end of the song,
Right.
right? Of when he's like, "Hello."
Yes, somebody's
See,
saying he hung
yeah,
up again.
a man answers. Is your wife not home alone? Yeah. So that's great, and they play that all the time on the radio.
They
that
do.
end, so.
They do. Now, before another artist we're going to, before Waking Up, the Neighbors came out.
Yes.
Bryan Adams put out a live version of Young Lust.
Oh, okay.
Didn't make the Billboard chart, which is why we didn't rank it. But he did his own version of Young Lust.
Oh, and this is one that okay, so they never say Young Lust in the song. It's called Young Lust, but the lyrics doesn't say it one bit.
Yes. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 3, again, coming from the wall, Run Like Hell. My number 2, your number 4.
Now that song actually does say that lyric at the end.
Does it?
Yeah,
Because
I
I
mean,
know
mostly he says run, run,
Yes.
run,
Yes.
but at the end they does say.
Now, is that a phrase? Do you ever look at somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, we once got pulled over for speeding, and I looked at Chris and I said, "Run!" You went to a McDonald's. I know under bushes. Still got a ticket. That's not what we. I don't think anybody ever says "run like hell" though.
No. How do you do that? I didn't know how to run. So this in the movie, this is when he goes out to perform after he got shot up with drugs.
All right.
Which Comfortably Numb, it kind of says,
Yes.
you should be able to perform with the
Right.
lyrics.
I do like that. You'll feel another pin prick, and he goes, "You'll feel a little."
Yeah.
That is cool. Part of the song.
Yeah. So and then he goes out and it's like a Nazi rally because
Yes.
I think that's when they sing the song "Run." He's walking down.
Yep. That's probably when we see the Hammers doing their goose step.
Yeah, because the animation in the movie is impressive too.
It is.
Surreal a little bit.
Yep. Okay, and number 2. Last song from the wall. You haven't heard this in our list yet. You
Yeah.
better. Another Brick in the Wall,
Right.
Part 2. Your number 2, my number 3. Again, I like Run Like Hell better. Probably their most famous song. Why? Would you have ever thought that a Pink Floyd song would actually be number 1 on the Billboard charts?
What's the number one?
That's a number 1. It's amazing. I think the next song
Didn't
after,
some Momentary Lapse of Reason songs go to number 1, like Learning to Fly?
not on the Billboard
Okay,
chart.
okay.
Maybe in the mainstream rock charts.
Okay.
But no, they don't have anything else that comes
Yes.
close. But this, they had a number 1, amazingly. I think the very next number 1 after this was Blondie's Call Me.
Yeah. So how can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Is that part of the movie?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I know.
It
But
is.
is that a take on Oliver Twist?
I don't know.
Where they
I'll have
keep-
some more, sir. I don't know.
Well, he was eating. I think it was more like mush that they were having,
Yeah.
not pudding. Okay, that leaves our number 1 song coming from Momentary Lapse of Reason. Both of our number 1s.
Yeah.
We both got it right, and that is One Slip.
What happened to Dogs of War? That was Dogs of War is similar to Welcome to the Machine.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
go by
It's I mean the
themes. Yeah.
Wah wah. It's like that's not making the top 10 list.
There was one more song. Although if you go to Wikipedia, it only says 3 were put out.
Oh, yeah,
On the Turning Away.
Another
They're
slow.
slowest, yeah.
But those slows aren't going to make our list very often. But One Slip is the one. It's where he actually says a momentary lapse of reason. So that is our Pink Floyd list. We know nobody agrees with us at all.
All the walls should be up there. No, wait, the Dark Side of the Moon should be up there. I'm like,
Yeah,
we got two
groups
competing
fighting.
groups that are fighting each other. The wall's better. Dark Side of the Moon's better.
So
about momentary? All right, shut up.
Sell out. That's when they weren't even Pink Floyd anymore. David Gilmour, I think And he did. He did go to court to fight over
Yeah.
being able to still use Pink Floyd. So
Right.
okay, maybe
It
that's
did. The Wikipedia did say that. Well, Dark Side of the Moon was on like the charts for a very long time.
it's still in the top 5
Yeah.
of albums
Yeah.
sold all time.
Yeah, 25 in the world. I think it said 23 in the U.S. I don't know how that works.
And I think all their album covers were, most of their album covers were done by a guy named Hypnosis or Hypnosis,
Hypnosis.
spelled weirdly.
It's not. Yeah, it's not H-Y. It's H-I-P.
Yeah,
G. There's a G in there. Don't think there's usually a G.
that's why I said Hypnosis.
Yeah.
So whoever that is, he must be famous.
Hypnosis. Yeah, they did all the album covers. Not all of them. Roger Waters did Animals, I think.
All right. So that's our Pink Floyd list. Not one of my favorites. As a matter of fact, okay, here's my list of people that I'm surprised we even got to this. AC/DC, Pink Floyd. We haven't done Metallica yet. Throw that into that group. We did Meatloaf, but that's because he died. I mean, a lot of groups. We haven't done Ozzy Osbourne's group yet.
Right.
So there's a slew of people we're slowly getting to because they weren't in the people we listened to. Did we listen to Cyndi Lauper? A little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, can't help but hear girls just want to have fun. That's
Yeah,
all over
that
the place.
still plays. Yeah, so
Our-
that, she's our next artist, and she did have more than 10 Billboard charted songs, so she'll be our next artist. Again, I said that. We'll see you then.
Bye.